Hey guys, Fucus 101 here, and in this video, I'm going to be giving my review on my second favorite horror movie of all time. And that movie is John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween. Now, in my opinion, I honestly believe that this is the most distinguishable horror movie ever made. I would bet that anyone that has ever heard of a horror movie knows about this movie, Halloween. And its main character, Michael Myers, is, in my opinion, the most iconic horror slasher villain ever. Michael Myers is the icon of horror movies. He is, and I doubt, and I would challenge someone to argue with me about that he is not the icon of horror movies, because Halloween is one of the best horror movies of all time. And that's not just my opinion. That is, honestly, I'm pretty sure that's a fact. It is one of the best horror movies of all time. Anyway, to get into the review, this movie, it like sparked a whole new age of horror movies. After this movie came out, so many people were like, "Oh my god, we need to make a horror movie now," because everybody wanted to compete with this movie, but nobody could compete with this. This movie is just amazing. So, yeah, this movie was directed, produced, and scored by John Carpenter. And as you know, this movie is one of the most iconic theme songs of all time. I'll cue the song right now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard that tune at least once in their life. So yeah, this movie introduced Jamie Lee Curtis. This was her first movie, and she's appeared in other horror movies like Prom Night and other sequels of this movie. This movie spawned many, many sequels. You got Halloween 2, Halloween 3, which really doesn't have anything to do with this storyline, so forget that. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Piece of shit Halloween 6. H2O, Halloween Resurrection, and the 2 remakes by Rob Zombie. So yeah, this original 1978 version introduced Jamie Lee Curtis. And you also got Donald Pleasence playing Samuel Loomis, who is Michael's doctor in the movie. And he is just a total badass in all the movies. To give a brief overview of the movie, it begins with a first-person perspective of Michael Myers as a young boy. He's 6 years old, and he ends up murdering his sister in the upstairs of their house. And he's sent away to Smith's Grove, psycho institution for 15 years. And on the day of his trial, or he has a court hearing, he escapes, and he goes back to his hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois, to continue his murderous rampage. And the movie just kicks off right from the beginning. The very beginning of the movie, you're just set for the whole tone of the movie, and it's awesome. A lot of cool techniques were used in the movie. A lot of scenes were from Michael Myers' perspective, which I thought was awesome. And you could hear his breathing under his mask, which I thought was really cool. It gave a really eerie feel to the movie, and it was pretty, it was scary too. Also, the music that was chosen really, really set the mood. A couple of these are The Shape Walks. I think that's the name of one of them. I'll play that right now. Yeah, and also there's this one sound that happens if there's like a jump scare or along the lines of that, when something big happens, they play this one like tune, and it sends shivers up my spine when I hear it. I'm gonna try and find it, and if I do, I'll play it right now. But yeah, the movie had really good music that set the mood. And another thing that I really liked was the lighting in the movie. Most of the movie takes place at night. There's only a couple parts in the beginning take place during the day. And during the night scenes, everything had like a bluish tint to it, which I thought was really awesome because it set the mood for the movie. It made the scene more powerful than just having normal lighting. The shadows that were cast on everything from the light, like on Michael Myers' face, the shadows that were on him made it so like you couldn't see his eyes through the mask. He looked really, really cool. Also, what I really liked about the movie was that it wasn't really gory at all. Yeah, people are getting butchered up by this killer, but there's barely any blood in the movie. And they use it in moderation, and I really like that when movies aren't gory. Or like Saw gory or Texas Chainsaw Massacre gory. This movie wasn't gory at all. Like a couple scenes where there is blood, like Laurie gets her arm cut in one scene. And there's one of the guys who gets killed is hanging from the ceiling. He has some blood dripping down from the wound onto his neck, but you can only really see if you look for it. Because again, the lighting of the movie, it makes it so the blood doesn't stand out, which I like. It seems more realistic. And the movie has plenty of iconic scenes, too many to name. A couple of them are when Michael Myers has the bedsheet over his head, which is something I find kind of weird that Michael would do, to take the time to poke holes in a bedsheet and put it on his head just to kill one person. But it did add some humor to the movie, which I thought was funny, but I didn't see the point I didn't see Michael doing that. I try to imagine killers doing things that they aren't shown in the movie. Like, I can imagine Michael taking the time to go throughout the house trying to find a bed, picking the sheet, poking the holes in it, putting over his head, sneaking up to the room like, this is going to be good. But another iconic scene is Bob's death, when Michael stabs him in the chest and pins him against the wall and just kind of stares at him. And it's a really really awesome shot when the camera captures both of them, Bob on one side and Michael on the other, and it's cool. And another one is when Michael busts open the closet to try and get Laurie. So the remakes of the movie were directed by Rob Zombie, and I'll just talk about them for like a minute. The first one I thought did justice to the original movie. I thought it was really well directed and filmed. Some scenes were a little unnecessary, and it was an extremely gory movie. But I like the fact that Rob Zombie kept a lot of scenes. A lot of scenes in that he redid that were in the original movie. Like, he put Bob's death in. He put the sheet. And he just did a really good job. And he also redid the theme song to the movie in his own style, which I thought was awesome. But anyway, yeah, Halloween 1978 by John Carpenter, definitely a classic, the classic horror movie, most iconic horror movie slasher villain ever, and it is my second favorite horror movie of all time. I watch it every Halloween. It's like a tradition. It's so fun, and it's just a great movie. That's it. It's just great. So I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10 because it's fantastic. I highly recommend you guys go watch this. It is a cult classic. it'll go down in history. And yeah, write down in the comments what you thought of the movie, what you thought of the remake. And this is Fucus 101 signing out. Happy Halloween.